Hi, I'm Mike, one of the clay developers here at AMACO. I'm here to talk to you all today about the new premium chocolate clays. I was part of the formulation team and I helped design the new chocolate clay bodies. Here are two pieces that I made using the milk chocolate and the dark chocolate clays. I was trying to explore with these pieces the clay surface on its own, as well as how it brought out different luster or different color in our underglazes and in our PCF glazes, even in our HF glazes. You can see on these pieces that it highlights all the throne texture that I added in. Bare spots give a great contrast to the underglazes. The inside of the pot has things that you can discover. Even the HF glaze that was put on the pot has contrast to it where the trimming rings are. Every tool mark, every hand mark that you want left in, you can accentuate. The reason we designed the new chocolate clays is because we wanted AMACO to have an offering of vitreous clay. These new clay bodies are a vitreous cone 5/6 body. Vitreous meaning that they don't take on water. So they're great for dinnerware because you don't have to worry about things like putting them in your dishwasher and having the clay discolor over time. You don't have to worry about them going into your microwave because they're not taking on extra water and heating up. We also wanted to give more color options for people. Not everybody just wants a plain white clay. Stoneware, while it does have a lot of richness, doesn't always bring out the glazes in the way that a black or even a darker brown clay body can. That's why we chose those colors. That's why we chose these textures. All of our clays that we've released in the premium chocolate line are manganese-free. Manganese has a tendency to cause pinholing or odd textures in reaction with certain glaze components. And so being free, you'll get a smooth glaze finish on nearly every firing that you do. Some other clay manufacturers use manganese in their formulation to get a dark clay. And while it gives you a dark clay body, there are some drawbacks. It can create textures and glaze defects if your firing schedule isn't just right. So community studios, you sometimes struggle to have a manganese clay body in them. And these clays also don't require the use of an engobe to get a dark, rich color. And engobes are great. The only downside to an engobe is that the clay body is not consistent all the way through. So therefore, when you pull pieces out of the kiln, sometimes they can chip and they need retouching. With our clay, you don't have that. So these clay bodies use higher quality raw materials, and that helps you get a better glaze surface as well. That is also why they cost a little bit more than the average clay body at AMACO. The premium chocolate clays were made for AMACO glazes. We formulated them to create the best surface, the best color response, the best wear resistance, the best chip resistance, just so that our customers could have a beautiful experience when they get their piece out of the kiln. These clays were developed and tested with all of our AMACO glazes to ensure that you get less pinholes, you get no crazing, a better glaze coverage, and a better glaze fired experience. These clays also do a great job of highlighting texture on your glazes. Glazes like Honey Flux, PCFs, even opaque glazes like HFs can be accentuated with a dark clay. If you're looking for something that's more than very subtle, you can get as bold as you want to be with these clays. These clays also do a great job of accentuating crystals. So if you look here on our new June bug, you can see on a normal white stoneware that you get a great crystal pattern, but you can get a little bit of defects from pinholing and the crystal pattern isn't exactly even. But on our new white chocolate, you get a very dense and lustrous crystal pattern, and the surface is defect-free. It also gives you a much more even color across the piece. Another glaze line that really benefits from the chocolate clays, and especially the white chocolate, is the solar flare. If we take a look at the solar flare on our normal white stoneware, you'd still get an iridescent pattern. There are still crystals, but again, when you compare that to the white chocolate, you get a much more dense, much larger crystal pattern from the white chocolate, and it gives you an extra amount of sparkle to that glaze that you wouldn't get on a looser white stoneware. The difference is subtle, but it's still, in my opinion, worth the extra investment. So here I have a box of our dark chocolate stoneware, and I'd like to take you through opening the box and what you can expect. When you get your box of clay, you'll notice a printed label on this side and a sticker on the top of the box. When you look at this printed label, the barcode will take you to a link that will guide you through using clay safely in your studio. On this side, we have the sticker to remind you to always shock your clay before use. The clay comes out of the box and it might be a little firm. After shocking, it'll be much more workable. When you get the box of chocolate clays, you're going to see that they are packaged in a 20-pound box. That was done on purpose. It's done to help teachers and students and other people who will be buying this clay save back strain and save lifting strain. In addition to the small packaging size, we also make these in small batch sizes. We did that to try to keep quality on the ingredients up instead of having a large batch process that sometimes can add more inconsistency to the clay. Now we're going to open the box and show you what you'll expect inside the box of clay. Breaking the tape, you'll open the box and you'll find 4 small blocks of clay. These are easier to take with you to your community studio and be able to work in small batch. You'll find that the clay stays wetter longer in a smaller packaged increment. It's also easier to shock the clay so that you can loosen the clay for throwing, as opposed to having to lift a 25-pound block into the air and back down to the ground or onto the corner of a table. 5-pound blocks are very easy to lift and manipulate. So you'll find that the block of clay is wrapped really well. It comes with a twist tie on the end of the bag. As I stated before, it's really easy to handle and manipulate, get out of the box. It doesn't tend to stick very badly. Now I'm going to take this dark chocolate clay and I'm going to show you what it's like to work with it on the potter's wheel. So hey guys, now I'm on the Brent CXC black wheel, and I'm going to show you how I take 3 pounds of clay and make a bowl out of our dark chocolate clay. I like bowls as a general shape in showing off what a clay can do, because it really shows off the plasticity of the clay, its ability to take shape, how well the clay can cantilever. The coning and centering process is really the same as any fine-grained clays like porcelains or stoneware. What you're going to find though is, as opposed to groggy stonewares, these clays are much smoother, and so you won't have as much trouble with hand pain or wheel rash. These tend to be a little bit of a easier clay to throw with in that regard. We start our pull the same way we do any porcelain or other stoneware object. I gather clay from both sides of the wall. I'm going to compress the top and hold the rim in place as I draw up. If I find any air bubbles, now is my time to fix what I can. Which I have 1 small air bubble. I'm just going to take care of that. And it's just a little pin tool, same as any other clay. I'm going to compress the area and make a place for my hand to grab the clay wall. Yeah, the clay is extremely smooth when you throw with it. You're not going to feel grog. There is a fine grit, but it's so fine that it gives you no resistance. Porcelain clays and things, as they firm, can lose a little plasticity. These clays I find to be very plastic all the way through the throwing experience. A little bit of moisture from the sponge. I'm just going to start to wet the backside of the clay wall so that it folds a little bit easier for me. Compress the rim, pull the rim outward. This gives me a place for people to grab the bowl when it's hot, and just a little lubrication so that I can go back and add some decoration later on. Take your time. Smoother clays require sometimes a little bit more patience than stoneware to get to the final shapes that you want. I only want design lines that I want to see under the glaze. Sometimes I can come through and add tool marks to purposely highlight glaze later on. Sometimes I like to deflect the rim. So the clay handles that very well. No splitting, no curling. You can pinch a little bit. You can add extra tension to your rim. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And here's the bowl that I made. And I hope you get a chance to try the new premium chocolate clays. You can find them at your local distributor or by searching AMACO.com. Have a great day.